China's stock market lost $6 trillion since 2021, so the government's putting $278 billion in to save it. Because of that news, Chinese stocks have rebounded. China's Premier Li Qiang said on Monday that it would step up mid and long-term fund injection in the capital market to strengthen stability and promote healthy development. But this is a small band-aid on a much bigger wound. When China had a lot of money to dish out, they lent the developing world about $1.1 trillion, and those debts are due. Unfortunately, the developing world can't pay those debts back. Home foreclosures in China have increased by over 40% last year. Consumer confidence has plummeted along with the growing deflation that has been infecting their economy for almost a year. If you want to get a measure for how bad things are, BlackRock is selling Shanghai office towers at a 30% discount. The ironic thing is that even though foreclosures have increased in China, property inventories have been skyrocketing. China has a population of 1.4 billion people, but they've built so many homes that even that number can't fill them all. One estimate states that China has built enough homes to fit 3 billion people. Why were so many homes built in China? To increase the GDP. China has all the materials that it needs in order to construct homes, apartments, what have you. Concrete, wood, glass, wires, whatever you call it, are cheap on their own. Once you combine them all and build real estate, their value skyrockets. And then you put the value of that real estate you just built at the average national value for that size. It is an incredible way to make your economic output look like this. China did not just do this with real estate. They also overbuilt when it came to manufacturing. Because China is the world's factory and they've overproduced, global inventories are swelling now because of China's economic slowdown. When manufacturing inventories rise and they don't go down for a long time, that means anyone working those manufacturing jobs will eventually lose those jobs. But as long as China can keep their food supply at the right levels, then I think in time they can handle all of this. They are the #1 food importer in the world, and most of their food imports, I believe, come from Brazil. The United States is China's #2 food supplier, which keeps them even that much more dependent on us. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard about China's population crisis. Let's go into that a little bit more. In order to have a growing population, you need to have 2 children per woman. Anything less than that means you will start to have a population decline. The United States has a fertility rate of 1.64 children per woman. That's bad. But immigration fixes that problem for Japan does not have a generous immigration policy. Their fertility rate is 1.34, so they are dealing with a population collapse. China's is even lower, 1.28 births per woman as of 2020. It may be lower now. In 2023, there were 9 million births, but 11.1 million deaths, meaning that China's population has already been declining. This is what we call a population pyramid, a very healthy one. It's India's. The bottom of the pyramid is the youngest people, the top is the oldest people. You want the fattest part of your pyramid to be right here. We are looking at China's population pyramid. You can see that the vast bulk of the population are nearing or after retirement age. There are also not enough women in China. This is the population proportion of boys. This is the population proportion of girls. There are about 200 million Chinese women of a healthy birthing age. If each of them automatically decided to have 3 children back to back, in 20 years, that 600 million new people entering the workforce would not be enough to replace what's been lost. But I don't think there's going to be some dramatic collapse like the Great Depression. The world economy relies way too heavily on China to let something like that happen. And I think everyone, including the US, would step in to help. I'm the Geo Husar, and I don't always respond to your comments because I get several thousand of them a day. Thanks for watching, and if you find this post useful, give me a follow.